veo ahí. All right, guys. Well, hey, if anybody in YouTube can give me a little thumbs up that you can hear me, I'd love to know that the audio's coming through. All right. Hey, thanks for the feedback, guys. Yeah, they're bar table 10 ball race to 11. Um, I just got the message myself, so I had to set myself back up. But like I mentioned a couple times on the big table matchup, I mentioned that Chris can do this on any of their tables. Um, I hope I'm saying this correctly, but this is their bar box that's in kind of what I believe they call the pit area, and that's exactly what it is. It's uh, that table sits in there exclusively by itself. It's in kind of an arena type setting, so there's player seating inside of it, but then you can stand around the outside of it and look down on it. I've played down in this area before. It's really cool, and they've got their bar box down there now. They've moved the room around quite a bit over the years. I know they've had a big table down there before, and like I said, it's a bar table now. I love that white diamond. They got the kind of the sharp gray cloth on it. Looks great. So I believe this is the first game, and just bar table 10 ball race to 11. Bear with me for a couple of seconds. There's still a couple things I want to log into yet, so I'll get to the play-by-play momentarily here. All right, so I think I'm all set up on my end. Kenny won the first set. They played for about 3.5 hours. A little back and forth early, and then it was pretty much all Kenny the rest of the afternoon. Kenny played well. Adam struggled. Um, Rolls favored Kenny throughout the afternoon, and you'll see that a lot in rotation. Uh, but not taking anything away from Kenny at all. He played well. Um, I'm not there. I'm commentating from up in northern Ohio. So I know they talked a little bit. I didn't see cues get broke down, but then I did get a message that they're doing a race to 11, 10 ball on the bar table. I didn't see the first break, so what I am curious about is if it's magic rack or if it's plastic rack. Argos, Adam sits right around 684, and I think Kenny sits right at 710. I might have shaved a couple points off of Kenny's. It was sent to me in the last match. I know it was 710 or higher. All right, so Kenny maneuvers his way to the first 10 ball. Puts that away with no problem and gets out 1-0. Oh, and I think they're going to do the scoring, which makes me happy. At least they did that time. Gonna take a second before you guys can see it. It pops up into the stream. Of course, I stuck my nose in my phone and was answering a couple of things, and Kenny got everything racked up and broke a little quicker than what I was expecting. So I still didn't see. I mean, somebody tell me in the chat room they used some plastic rack. So Kenny calls a 2 on the side. One thing you're going to see from both of them. Okay, thanks, Wade. Yeah, plastic rack. I mean, one thing you're going to see from both of them, coming off the big table. I mean, I think they're just going to be a little more free and loose, and both running out a little bit higher clip. The reason, in my opinion, how this game ended up getting picked is, and don't get me wrong, Kenny plays great bar table 10 ball. Adam breaks it really, really well. So, if Adam gets the table, gets his break going, can that be enough to even things up a little bit? We'll see. But right now, he's got to find himself a little bit of offense and get himself to that end of the table. He's got a little bit of a tight pocket up the top left. I think it plays, but you don't have to like it. You got to work the cue ball if you're playing it in the top right. Looked like he had a lot more room than what I thought. I mean, he even played that a little bit to the left side of the pocket, put a good hit on the ball. Almost found his way to the drink. Six didn't have to go either, but working his way through it nicely. Come around here, play the 9 on the side and 10 in the corner. Nice out, sir. Yeah, so they're racing to 11. So Kenny finds the 8 ball in the bottom left corner right away. Made something else, but I didn't catch that ball. Leaves him in tight behind the 6. That's a nice little clean shot. Adam's going to have to spin over to the 1. Hopefully catch the right side of it. I caught the left side of it. No call on the 3 there, so. Excuse me. Kenny moves out past the pocket, gets on the 2. Work back around to the 5 here. A nice look at it now. And he jumps out to a 3-0 lead. I must have looked away forever last game, if that's the type of time Kenny spent on the rack. Oh, and you absolutely have to. I mean, there's not a game that the break isn't important, but you get on the bar table, it's even more so, in my opinion. That's really about the first mistake we've seen this set from Kenny. Trying to catch the 5 in the face and spins himself a little behind it. All right, so now we get a little bit of an idea of how the table plays. I mean, Adam had to send that into the rail to create the space over for the 5 and seemed pretty accepting of it. It's so hard to tell from a stream, but you kind of watching the cue ball go across the table, and I mean that felt to me, it looks brand new, but usually on a stream it always looks super healthy. And if you've got cloth on a stream that looks worn and dirty, you need to get a mechanic in there that day. But Chris always keeps the room so nice, and so without me having been there recently to be able to tell everyone how the table plays, just my best guess. Adam gets right out from where he was supposed to, so 3-1. All right, so we're 3-1 in this race to 11. They came off of a 10 ahead set where Rush and Kenny pulled that off in about 3.5 hours. Moved over to the bar table to play a little 10 ball. Kenny jumped out to a 3-0 lead. Little position error got Adam to the table. Adam runs out and got a ball down on the break and a look at the 1. Looking ahead to the rack, he's got to contend with that 7-8. Combination's real playable. The 7's going to track towards the end rail if that's the route he goes without moving anything. With the 6 on the right side of the rail, he can look to transition short side if that's the direction he wants to go. End up say if he was going to get short side, but not quite. He's got a good opportunity to play safe here if he wants it. I'm not sure if the bank's playable. A little distorted from the stream view. The camera's pretty far. Well, it's either pretty far away or it's pretty close, and with a pretty wide angle, it just distorts it out just a little bit. But he opts for the safety. If that 6 comes up, no, doesn't quite find cover. Distance, which even on a bar table is not the most awful thing ever, but Kenny's going to swing at this bank here. Absolutely in. If the 8 wasn't there, there was room to play it past the 8, but he just hit it to the right side of the pocket and caught the 8 on its way in. Steep enough cut that, it almost plays right to where that 10 ball is. So now you're ducking the 10 and bringing that corner pocket into play a little bit as you cut it in. So he looks like he's either going to, cut it up on the side. Didn't think he'd play him safe from there, so. All right, Adam gets a couple of quick games, brings it to 3-2. So somebody asked in the chat room if there's a link to the other set. I might play around and throw a link in the chat, but just real simple, go to the League Room's YouTube page, and you'll see that there. It sometimes live videos take a few minutes before they will repost, so it could be going through that process right now. But Chris is always looking for throwdown matches like this, so just subscribing to the page, hit that little bell for notifications. You'll see a lot of really good content on this one. All right, so Adam's got a ball down and good clean look at the one. A little bit of work to do to get off 2. He's just going to bump the 8 and draw back. Been much better off not catching the side of the 3. It might have spun around to where it was cuttable, but he can go after this straight back, or he can try to hide behind the 5 and 7. Oh, hey, the bottom left pocket on this one accepts balls. If you didn't watch any of the big table set, that they both hung up in the bottom left quite a lot. It's not a gaffy table by any means. I mean, just your standard 4.5-inch cut diamond smart table. The equipment plays fantastic there, but I don't know, just for whatever reason, they both tested the rails on that side of the table. Got a little love there. Still got some work to do with that 8-ball, though. Somebody there could tell Adam to move next time something like that happens, so we can see what happened live instead of having to come back to it. The rail would appreciate it. So he's looking to see if that combo's playable. The other thing is the 8's going to drift down table a little bit, but are you going to get it to go far enough past the pocket? He's so close to it, it's difficult to get accuracy and position. And if he's looking this way, he's looking at trying to hide behind the 10 ball, and that's Not without casualties either. So Adam gives that one back, and will put Kenny up 4-2 in this race to 11.
Well, hello, darling. How are you? Hanging out playing all day? Yeah. You been running around all day? Oh my God.
I think might have seen a little separation in that rack there. I'd love to hear what Kenny said right now. Checking to see what plays in that corner. Excuse me. Boy, what a sporty little effort, though. No question about it. That was all offense all the time, and just got a little bit fortunate that he missed. Another nice jump shot from Adam. I think that's a. He didn't call it? Okay. Kenny just seeing what's what on the table, but say there's no way Adam didn't call that ball. Yeah, it's the second ball. Adams jumped in really well. Hey, he found a bit of a roll, too. Looks like we got a little one pocket game going on the bar table. Here, you just want to do your best that you're at least not leading them into the breakout, but it looks like the 7, 8, 10's playable. Wow.
That's the only way to play shape on that ball.
Well, and if you saw Adam stand up and, he's walking to the table and then sees the double tap and just kind of gives that shoulder shrug. And so obviously they're playing no early 10s. So Kenny's got a little bit of work to do here. He can. Well, the cross bank's playable. Is he going across it for the side? Yep.
It went back there 2 or 3 times.
And they're going to have not only a better eye at it, but the better angle. To me, that looked like it was hard to lengthen out to get to the side pocket. The other bank looked open, but it's a complete and total sellout. You don't figure to scratch from there. It was just in a bad way and had to come with a shot and wasn't able to. A rub that made things even easier for Adam right there. Just pop back up to about the center of the table and 4-3. All right, we'll see if Adam can get things tied up right here. Finds a side pocket. Finds a good look on the one ball. Now you can move over into this 8, but you got to be careful that you don't push it on top of the 2. And he comes across it. Now, how do you want to contend with the 4-5? Very nice hit. It's tough to land really good going into it the way that he did, making sure that you don't get stuck. Cleared it up just enough to pass the 5 and nice and smooth back around to it. So make sure he lands on the 6 to transition to the 8. Curious what Adam does, but I think it's just a stop shot. Just transition around 2 rails, might catch a 3rd. Yep. And probably back and forth here. Nope, he slow rolls it. Tough to pick up the angle and how close it was to the rail. He had some room there. Wasn't going to jump off that end rail, so landed perfect on the 9. Kenny says that's good. We're 4-4.
They beat me last week. Now I gotta wear this fucking shirt tonight.
I was gonna ask you, is that shirt coming men's too, or
I suck what? I suck last week.
I sucked last week?
Yeah, and it said low bitch on the back of it.
Fuck, that's fucking great. Every time I played that, I had to wear something like that.
My youngest boy, the one you see rolling around on that walker, we've had this fucking shirt for 3 years. He ain't never had to wear it. Frick.
All right, Adam doesn't get the look on the 1 this time. And he not wanting any part of trying to mess with that. And I think he might have left him the 1, though. I mean, Adam's still got a lot of work to do getting around the table. I'm not completely sure that he did. But if he can thin it and get the cue ball to that end rail, come off the side rail and up to the end rail first. Well, I knew that ball was playable, but I thought he was going to beat it. Karam's available on the 10 ball, or if he's going to try to avoid that completely and just play the safety. Double tap on the way in and out. And Kenny moves things a little closer to where Adam was trying to get him to. Stiffs the straight back, catches the point for shape. Hey, that's a roll. Adam's got to think about using the jump cue every 3-4 shots, I think. Holding the window for the 6-8. A little straight on the 5. So Adam looking to see if he can play the 6 in the bottom left, but then he's got to contend with the 8. Nice confident stroke right into it and push it out of the way, and lands in front of the side pocket, which never gonna upset anybody. Good cue ball there. Even got above it to let him trickle down this way. That's good. All right, well, after a quick start from Kenny, Adam's able to put a few together himself and come back for a 5-4 lead. All right, I stepped away, but good timing right here for Adam's break. Got a couple balls down. Good look at the 1. Got to dig into this just a little bit to hold it, but nice looking table here. Well, didn't completely tree top him on that 9 ball. He's just not going to be able to work the cue ball much, but he can at least get to the side of it and roll it in. Yeah, it just got there just enough to mess with you. I've said this a couple times. When the guys when both guys have missed, I mean, you take them as a big favorite to make the ball, but he got just a little funny. It started right on that 1 ball. You had to dig into it a little bit so it didn't run too far. Well, he shortened it up a little too much. He's a little tight to the rail, didn't have quite the angle he wanted. So punched at the ball and got above it, but then a little unlucky with coming into that 9 ball. Like I said, didn't directly tree top himself, but made it challenging and wasn't able to pocket the ball. Of Kenny the open table. Kenny did exactly what he's supposed to do with it, and hey, we got ourselves a good set, 5-5. Well, if anybody was in here that listened to me during the big table matchup that these guys did, Adam and Kenny are down at the league room in Parkersburg, West Virginia. Owned and operated by Chris and Jamie Wilson. I think this setup, even more so than what you can see from the stream view on the big table, just emphasizes how player friendly this room is. Just this arena setup that they have. The only place that I've been to that has anything even even comparable to it is what the rail yard has. You know, they have an arena built as well, and it's pretty cool. Um, but I love how this is. It's down like two steps into like a pit type arena, and so you just as a player you're even more isolated, and it's a lot of fun to play in. I've played down in that once. Really enjoyed it. Hell, I lost when I played in it, and it was fun. If you know me at all, that says a lot. Good speed, good hold. I think you got to swing at it. You got to call it. If you get the make, it's gonna land with shape because you're gonna come in. You're gonna bump that six over. And I lied, but he left himself a pretty lock safe, I believe. I don't think, yeah, he's not completely tied on it.
I don't know, just kind of letting the day happen.
We'll see one more safety here. I think that'll track two rails up to the end rail and just bring the cue ball back to the end rail. I found that window. Yeah, and I mean I've said it, and I'll continue to say it. These guys both play so much better than me, so it's hard for me to question it. But at least what I saw was you being able to shoot into that three, and then draw the cue ball back and play the two rails to the end rail. But knowing Adam as well as I do, is some of the way he thinks about the game, I'm gonna say that was unavailable because I think that's the path he would have taken if it was there. How it worked out, he found his way back to the table. Under hit that seven though. A little bit of work to do here. Gonna be able to come across. Well, what I was starting to say was he going to be able to come through there without hitting the 10, but I didn't think so. And Adam played it right into the 10 to try to create separation that way. Yep, and they're just pretty simple. No, you're going to be slightly off angle for the 9, but take your medicine, make the ball, and just come with one more shot here, and you should be pretty free. Every player's a little bit different, but most people, in my opinion, if they transition from the big table to the bar table, I mean, I just think they're going to shoot even straighter. Kind of looks like they're throwing balls into the ocean. So, I mean, we've seen a couple misses, but for sure, quite a few less than what we saw on the big table. And it goes for both players. I mean, it's going to allow them to run out a little bit more. Your safeties have to be locked in a little bit more. So Adam finds the 5 in the side right away. I think he's all aces on the good side to play this combo. I think the one's going to trickle down table a little bit, and the one ball or in the cue ball going to either just basically stop or go to the right just a little. Yeah. So if you have to play a combo, letting everything lead yourself forward, that's what you want to do. Now he gets fairly close to this, gets to control where everything's going to land to transition up table. Checking to see if that 4 passes a 6. It does not look to me like it does. So I wonder if he was playing all safe all the time, or if because he ran a little long, if he just opted for the easy choice there. My view down the side of the rail says the ball didn't go, so I think he landed damn near exactly where he wanted to be able to play the safety. And I think you're going to see another attempt at one right here. Nice ball there. Come just a little light on it. It was hard for me to see, but Kenny got there this time around. All right, well, I think just like that, we're going to stay on it up. Good use of the pocket to come back to the 9. And Kenny not wasting any time to make it 6-6. All right, we're 6-6, race to 11. Russian Kenny and Adam are just coming off a 10 ahead set over on one of the big tables at the league room. Kenny was able to come away with that in about 3.5 hours. So there's a little bit of negotiation period, and they decided to come over to the 7-footer, try a little 10 ball. And we're at 6-6. In about an hour's worth of pool. So yeah, no part of this is fun. I mean, Adam landed straight in. You know, you can set yourself for the bank, whether or not you want to play it in the side or in the corner. You can set yourself up just to play the left side of the 3 and come back into that congestion on the bottom right. Looks like he did pretty well. It's easy to get that ball hung up in the corner pocket too. I mean, I don't know if he called anything or if he was just all safe all the time, but you know that's kind of the danger of that shot. You get a little bit hung up there, and you saw where he left the cue ball, and you know you go from a pretty strong defensive shot to a sellout real quick. There's a real nice shot. Little unfortunate to be on the 6 like he is. And you could tell with the spin and the angle he took to it. He was taking that corner pocket out of play, taking the 9-10 out of play. The unfortunate thing about it is where he landed, really the 6 ball was the only ball that was difficult to get to from where he was. Leaked out there. Leaves Kenny a chance to run out. All right, so I ducked my head down. I know we got a little bit of a miss. Sorry, I was answering something on my phone. You gonna find that 9 ball? Wow. Obviously, Kenny made the 6, but he must have missed the 7. Adam gets a look at the edge of the 7, paints it, runs a little long with his cue ball. And Adam absolutely making that pogo stick his bitch, man. Oh, and then he just chunked the 9. He's going to get a little bit of a roll from it, I think. I mean, left Kenny a pretty wired bank, but yeah. Super unfortunate there to come up with that big shot like that and then not convert the 9. We've all done it. That puts Kenny up 7-6 in a race to 11. Anytime you play a set, there's always a couple things you look back on. Most of us tend to be pretty one-sided. We think of our mistakes, things we gave away. We don't necessarily think of the things that we received along the way. But if this doesn't go Adam's way, that's going to have to be one that he's going to go back and kick himself a little over. Kenny comes up dry on the break here, but covers up the 1 ball. Adam swings at the 1, but unfortunately just opens it up. Kenny doesn't think there's anything unfortunate about it. He's got a free look at the 1, transition right to the 2, and leaves him pretty good to not get into the 8 there. Yeah, that's what I thought. Lance just short of being elevated on the 10, so he can transition over to the 5. Playing good or bad, Kenny just always looks so loose around the table. Got that kind of 1 practice stroke and then fire, and that little pause is about as long as he's going to take looking at things most of the time. Really nice execution through that run. All right, we'll see what Kenny does with this. Looked at the left side to bring him down behind the 6. That's tricky. Yeah, he's going to bank it and just spin the cue ball down table. I think you can cut this ball in. It's a lot. I know you want to bank it if you can. Yeah, he's just gonna opt and play safe. Adam finds a jelly roll. Almost found the drink, just catching that thin point of the side, splitting his advantage. That's a nice little shot to the 2 ball. It's gonna spin, yeah. If Adam jumps this ball in too, I really think he should just play with it the rest of the time. Yeah, I think you're gonna see this go back to Adam, but I'm not sure. Yes, sir. Take one common. At least this one you get to play straight. Yeah, and following that cue ball up there. I think that 2 ball leaked about as far away as it possibly could because I think you're supposed to be pretty free and clear following the cue ball up the way that he did. Good cue ball, good speed there. See what Kenny can do with a kick shot. Calls in the bottom left. He's got him a little close to the 2 ball, but just avoid that side pocket and work your way towards the 5. And I think that's why you saw him just roll forward. Not gonna stun that ball over and hold it for the corner pocket at all. I just think the side pocket was a little bit too much in play, and he lets it stroke out nicely there to work back to the 6. Either side's fine. All right, Adam gets one back for 8-7. They're tied at 6. Kenny put a couple together to create a little separation. So we're 8-7 going to 11. Taking a little bit of a break. I don't know if he told Adam to keep shooting or not. Adam's racking the balls, but Kenny stepped away. Yeah, we're on just a little bit of a break.
Shit, freaking be so awesome. I'll put the other guy in. It's like tough too. No, I know that because it's actually I actually talked to my buddy about it and I'm like it's not that low of a percentage of the fight.
No, well, these are all at the end to push yourself to.
Exactly.
Sorry, guys, just dealing with a little side hustle sale on my end. So I'm assuming this is off of Adam's break.
Got us a barn burner here on the main stage of West Virginia. It's beautiful heat. Two of the finest APA fives you can find in the
Now I
country.
like that for a push shot. I mean, Kenny's looking to see if he can go between the 7 and the 2 and find the kick window, or if he could just thin the 1. Wow, he left him. Wow. So when I said I liked it for a push, never listen to me. But what I was starting to say, and what Adam was trying to do, was push into a jump. And hey, if Kenny gets up there and makes it, salute. But with what Adam's been able to do with the jump cue the last few balls,
There's no shot.
oh, he's gonna get double whammied.
If he misses there, we probably win.
I like that little bit of angle from there. It keeps you from getting stuck to the rail, playing in the side pocket. I'd love it if that. Well, we're a quarter inch off the rail, but that's being uber picky. You saw how he just hit that in with such a nice stroke, and using pretty straightforward here. All right, nice transition from the 9 to the 10, and we are racing to 3. No bueno time to break dry if you're Adam. What a nice cue ball from there. You know, I think he can catch I'm going to call it the high side of the 10, and yeah, just stick him right behind the 3 there. Just took the cue ball down table and just was able to play that safety without any effort on the 2 ball. And Adam makes good contact with the 2, but he took a stab at calling the other corner. Another real nice shot by Kenny. I think it's tough to go into those balls thinking that you're going to come away with a offensive shot, but just come into it close and be able to move the way that he did there. Nice little sequence. This is going to prolong the game a little bit one way or the other, though. I mean, because I think you're going to you create that little cluster with the 8-10 there. I mean, the 8 plays in the right side, but bit of distance from the 7 to the 8. Now he's got a little bit of a chance here to separate those 2 balls if he wanted to, sure. What I was going to say along with that is I don't know that there's a lot of point in it just because of how difficult it's going to be to get a good shot on the 7 from there as well. So he opts to get strong on the 7 to be able to play down for the 8. As far as win by 2, haven't heard anything one way or the other. I kind of stepped away when they were negotiating, and I didn't have audio to it anyway. Well, that's a nice shot. Didn't look too happy with it. I don't think he was playing the 8. Maybe he was, but like Adam put a call to the side pocket. That's a big swing there. Just want to put contact in on. I mean, you know, even if you sell out on it, at least it's not ball in hand.
Hey, question: is it illegal to break and run a rack in the state of West Virginia, or is it just frowned upon? Just asking.
Still nice and competitive set. 9-8 going to 11.
Pennsylvania or further.
Well, I don't want to break
All right, so we're 9-8 going to 11. Russian Kenny versus Adam Martin. Saw a little partying of the Red Seas around that cue ball. Things opened up. Left Adam a shot at the one. Have to contend with the 3-9 there. Really got to contend with getting on the 2 ball good because you're not so steep on the one that you can't play it, but I think you're going to try to land on that side rail between the. Oh, he's just going to come all the way down. Adam rubbed the 10 a little bit. Asked Ken if you wanted to move it back. Play the 2 up in the top corner and just wiped its feet a little bit. Still hasn't quite cracked the code on the out yet. I mean, not a lot of fun from here. He tried to thin that ball to the top right. And he lands no bueno on the 6 ball, though. Going to try to land on that 9 ball. Almost found his way either to the drink or to the point, one or the other. But, Adam comes with the ball here. This carries natural shape. You should roll the ball in and play the friendly rub on the 7. Yeah, question in the chat room. Yeah, they played a 10 set on that big table. Kenny won 10 in about 3.5 hours. A good hold there. Comes back dead on top of the 10 ball for 9-9, guys. Looks like Adam's taking a little bit of a break.
I was like, they're like, there's a gap there and a gap there. I'm like, well, how about this? Just bet every one of you guys a couple hundred apiece for the duration of the tournament. If there's no magic rack and you can't tap the balls in, anytime the balls are racked, you can be like that one, that one, that one, and I'll point out at least two gaps in the rack. And they'll be like, well, yeah, but they're not doing it on purpose. I'm like, I'm not creating gaps on purpose, you goofball. I'm like, you guys think the corner ball flies in because of the gaps? No, it flies in because of the balls that are thrown. I'm cool. Yeah. Oh yeah, you're talking about the back ball, the Thomas Haas stuff.
Well, I don't know about Tom Brady, but I do know if the balls are like gap, so the
All right, we're back. Adam to break. 9-9 in this race to 11, coming to you live from the league room.
there is a way, but you're not going from where you're going.
No, absolutely not.
Believe that is Adam's second dry break in a row. Sort of a cluster on the 3 and 6, but very playable. I think Kenny's looking to come forward and spin over to that side rail. Nope, just opts for a stop shot. I mean, that's one of those combinations that you're really not even looking at that second ball. That's just put a good make on the first ball, and the rest is supposed to take care of itself. You still have to shoot it, though. Made a real nice shot. Would have loved to have been just a tiny bit straighter on this 4 ball. Was able to hold everything okay, but see if he makes the same decision for the 5 or if he works his way around the table. Same decision. Well, nice shot there. Just a great cue ball. You want that little bit of angle to pop out for the 9. Not jacked up over the 10 at all. You're not, deep in the pocket, hugging the side rail. Just really right where you want to be. This, on the other hand, I mean, I think we're going to be okay, but table roll straight. Nice job, Chris. Yeah, it could have turned 1 or 2 more revolutions getting back to that 10 ball. All right, so that puts Kenny on the hill. We're 10-9 going to 11. See what Russian Kenny does with the break. Adam broke so good in the beginning of the set, and then his last two games that he's broke, he's come up dry. And Kenny made him pay for it there at 9-9. Up empty on the 4 railers, and Kenny breaks dry to the hill as well. Adam's got some work to do here, though. Looks like the one might be available in the side pocket, but the transition to the two is no good. So, this is all safety all the time. It's exactly what he does. Would have loved to have creeped behind that five ball too, but, that would have just been fortunate.
I tried to make lemonade out of dog shit and put
Kenny, a little unfortunate to rub that 10. I don't think it was going to scratch. I think it was going to catch that side rail and leave him real deep somewhere around where the eight ball is. So, again, there's still a lot of work in the table, but Adam got a clean look at the one now. I don't think the 3-7 carom's playable. Sure doesn't look like it is.
Alright, handsome, what'd you come up with